Sometimes you may want to see certain rows or columns all the time in your worksheet, and especially the header cells. By freezing rows or column, you will be able to scroll through your content while continuing to view the frozen cells. So here, if I scroll down, I will be able to see my data, but I will not be able to see the header cells. And also, if we scroll across the worksheet, you can see here we can see the grades, but we don't know to which course name or course code they belong to. So let's first learn how to freeze a certain row, for example. So in order to freeze row number 1, select the row below the row you want to freeze. So here we will select row number 2, go to the View tab, under the Window section, click on Freeze Panes, then click on Freeze Panes. Then, if I scroll down, the first row will be frozen in place, and I can scroll down while continuing to view the row at the top. Now, let's see how to freeze, for example, the first 2 columns. So before doing this, we need to unfreeze the panes. So go to the Window section, click on Freeze Panes, and click on Unfreeze Panes. So in order to freeze columns A and B, select the column to the right of the columns you want to freeze. So here we need to select column C. Go to the View tab, under Window section, click on Freeze Panes, and then click on Freeze Panes. So now if you scroll across the worksheet, you can see that columns A and B will be frozen in place. So you can identify the grades here, and you can note to which course name or course code they belong to when you scroll across. Now let's unfreeze the panes. A quick way, if you want for example to freeze row number 1 or column A or the first column in your worksheet, you can use the Freeze Panes here button, and you can choose Freeze Top Row or Freeze First Column quickly. So let's say we want now to freeze row number 1 and columns A and B all together. So when we scroll down or we scroll to the right or to the left, the columns A and B will be still shown, and row number 1 also will be shown. So to do this, select any cell in this worksheet, under the Window section, click on Split, and you can see we have these 2 gray lines, and they will split the screen into 4 panes. And it is useful if you want, for example, to compare different data across your worksheet. And here you can see we have 2 vertical scroll bars in order to scroll down or up separately, and we have these 2 horizontal scroll bars if you want to scroll across the worksheet separately. So let's go back to what we want to do. We want to freeze row number 1 and freeze columns A and B together. So you move the mouse pointer on this horizontal gray line and drag below row number 1, and we move the mouse pointer on the vertical gray line and we drag to the right of column B. Then we go to the Freeze Panes and then click on Freeze Panes. So now if we scroll down or we scroll to the right, you can see that the first row will be shown and the first 2 columns will be also shown. So in this way you can scroll freely while maintaining to know your data. So if you want to go back to the original view of this worksheet, just under the Window section, click on the Split button again and you will go back to the original view. So go ahead and practice these techniques in order to efficiently view your large data set.